Good evening, KP Heathen. Welcome to Coffee Talk. How's the weather in Louisiana, KP? Getting rain? I'm getting lots of rain here in my part of Texas. Was rainy but stopped. Yeah, that's good. I'm glad it stopped. Oh, and they rush in. Joshua Humphrey, welcome. Melinda Elliott, welcome. The Bud Files, welcome, Bud Files. Susanna Morrison, welcome, Susanna Morrison, proud single mom. The Black Widow, welcome, Black Widow. Well, I got Hillbilly Josh's box finished. The video is shot, the video is finished, it's ready to upload. I'll upload it, it'll be a premiere 6:30 p.m. on Wednesday. Not my best effort, but it's okay. You know, I don't know. Sometimes I don't know what to say. Uncle Al would say, stick with script. Just talk about preparedness. Don't get YouTube mad at me. Don't get the algorithm mad at me, the artificial intelligence or whatever. You know, don't get anybody mad at me. Joseph Moore, welcome, Joseph. I can't live my life worried about somebody getting mad at me. I say things from the heart. I repeat things that other people say that I believe, and sometimes that hurts people's feelings. And if I'm hurting somebody's feelings, it's not intentional, I apologize. Everybody's greeting everybody. Whew, I'm tired. 2, 4, 6, 7. Had 7 people come in so far. I've got 5 likes. Please leave a like to support the channel. I cleaned up today. I trimmed. I shaved. When I shave, I shave. Yeah, I shaved. Oh man, sorry. Having a little fun at that one. Hopefully this doesn't offend the algorithm. But statistically, they say about 1/3 of men suffer from male pattern baldness. About 1 in 3, they say. And the idea being that you reach a certain stage in life and hormonally or whatever, your 7-year cycles or whatever, and then you start losing, your body's changing, you start losing hair. Well, the funny thing about my hair loss is that when I started losing hair on my head, I started growing hair on my chest, on my arms, on my upper back. I mean, I started growing hair. And like, I never had that hair. I had a little bit of hair under my arms, had a little bit of hair in the private, and I basically had all up here is where all my hair was. But when I started losing hair, it started growing everywhere else. And I don't know if this is a hormone thing or if it's God's sense of humor, but maybe that's too much information for you. But that's what happened. And yeah, it's a laughable thing. You look at I look at a few of the things that I remember from back 40 some odd years ago when I was in college. Statistics. So statistically, if you take a person with blue eyes and you take a person with brown eyes, and let's say both of the parents of the blue-eyed person had blue eyes, and both of the parents of the brown-eyed person had brown eyes are more dominant, and therefore you're likely to have 3 of your 4 children on average would wind up having brown eyes. That's one of those statistical things. And statistically, 9 out of 10 people are right-handed. About 10% of the population, they write with the other hand. And that's some of the stuff that I learned way back in the day. If you have red hair, they say red hair, the genes for red hair came from our Neanderthal, or those people who are no longer around but gave us, because we were very closely related, gave us those genes. Some of the stuff that I learned. Uncle Al would say, and I don't think he was going to be on this evening, Uncle Al would say, stick with my script, which is basically talking about preparedness. So, to begin with, hurricane season began yesterday. Hurricane season June the 1st until the 1st of November. They're predicting this season is going to be a little bit more active than last season, and they're saying there will be anywhere from 17 to 25 storms during hurricane season. We're having a lot of tornadoes. Statistically, in the United States, we average about 1,500 tornadoes a year. That's across the United States, the 48 continental states. We average, we supposedly average about 1,500 tornadoes a year. And the tornadoes have been hitting North Texas, Oklahoma, Louisiana, Arkansas, been hitting pretty hard in there. And in the last less than a week, there have been about 20 people killed due to tornadoes. 20 people. Yeah, I can't tell you as far as I will tell you that a lot of times you've had people who were left-handed who are raised to use their right hands. It may be, I don't know of any lefties in my family, but It may be that I was intended to be left-handed because I can throw a ball with either hand. I can actually write with my left hand, messy, but I can write with my left hand. It's messy though. I'm thinking if I was left-handed, that the church basically, when I was in elementary school, the sisters, the nuns, whatever, they basically wanted me to use my right hand, and they taught me using my right hand. And I think that could be, a case. Either that or I'm what you'd call ambidextrous. There's a term for you, ambidextrous. Hello, Cheryl. How are you doing this evening, Cheryl? SB. It's SBRV 549. And that's Cheryl's channel link. You're in Dallas. I have been up there on occasion. It's a pretty good trip from Victoria, where I'm at. Used to take my daughter up. She went to Mount Lebanon Baptist Encampment. She used to be a summer counselor. She did that for 3 or 4 years. She'd go up there for a couple of months during the summer. You stay there and they basically feed you, and you're doing it for slave wages, but you get activities and such, and she enjoyed it most of the time. And when I was active in Gideon's International, I'd periodically have to go up there for a state cabinet meeting. The cabinet would meet in like Houston and Dallas, San Antonio, different places, Galveston, and I would periodically go for a Gideon's meeting, take the wife and kid. Enjoyable. 5 in the house, 6 likes. Please leave a like to support the channel. It would be greatly appreciated if you have not done so. Well, the only bad thing I can really say about people who write with their left hands is they got to be very careful when they write, because they smudge. The hand follows the pen across the page, as opposed to the hand leads the pen across the page. And if you ever think about writing, you know what I'm talking about. Going this way with your ink and you're following it, and you can smudge, as opposed to going this way with your right. But I'm probably going to get in trouble with Uncle Al for what I'm talking about, because I'm not really talking about preparedness, which he says you should stick to your script. And I can mention the need for emergency supplies. Do you have clean drinking water, bottled water? Do you have canned food? Do you have a good can opener? I posted on my community wall a can opener, $2. And even if you don't get them on sale, $5 or $6, you'll get one of these for less than $5 or $6. These have a bottle opener, nice manual can opener, $2, Walmart. Check my community wall post. You'll see what I'm referring to. Do you have a good radio? One of those radios that will get the NOAA, the weather notifications. Good AM, FM radio. Crank radios are good. I've been showing a crank radio that I have that I paid. It's on my community wall post. There's a community wall post of it recently. Check my community wall. You know, like $17.99 at Walmart, and it's got a flashlight. It's rechargeable. You know, you can USB charge a phone with it. Less than $20 with tax. You need one of those. You need a good flashlight. That serves a dual purpose. It's got a flashlight with it. But having a good flashlight or a lithium powered flashlight, something that's rechargeable. If you get one with batteries, you need to have spare batteries. Hygiene, the ability to clean yourself. 5-gallon bucket with 13-gallon trash bags, wipes, toilet paper, a commode seat, plastic one. You use that for sanitation. Do you have a good first aid kit? You take medication. Do you have your medication? Do you have extra medication? You gotta think about all that stuff. Holly Ivans, welcome Holly Ivans. Mr. Whistle, welcome Mr. Whistle. Joshua Humphrey. But I would encourage you, if you are interested in preparedness, check my community wall posts. I don't do one every day. Most of the time when I do them, I'm usually putting something up that relates to preparedness, good deals that I buy. I mean, I recommend stuff that I own. I don't recommend stuff that necessarily somebody else recommends. If I have it, if I use it, if I think it's good, I recommend it. Also, I try to recommend it at the best prices you can find. I like to get stuff on clearance. I loaded up Hillbilly Josh's box today, and the way I did it this time was I just took stills. I shot images of what I was putting in the box, and I didn't like have it set and then you could see me doing it. I basically cut it down to images of what I was putting in. I talked a little bit about preparedness in the video. It's going to be 13 minutes. It's not overly long. It'll premiere Wednesday at 6:30 p.m., which I'll premiere it before my Wednesday live stream. Usually I do premieres. I have to load it up. It's all shot. Just need to load it up. I just released another short, which was basically what I had for supper. Went to Popeyes. The wife likes her chicken, and I like my popcorn shrimp with fries, iced tea. The previous short that I had loaded up had about 400, from earlier today, had about 410 views. For whatever reason, my shorts tend to bottom out or top out at about 450 or so, mostly. Every once in a while I'll have one that'll bring in more than that, but that tends to be where I'm at. Everybody's greeting everybody. Uh, 6 in the house, 8 likes. Talk a little bit about the power grid. Well, our modern life requires electricity. All of our conveniences pretty much run on electric power. You may have a stove that works on natural gas. You may have central heat that works on natural gas. But most everything works on electricity. 110. Alternating current. If the grid goes down temporarily, something happens, there's a big storm, things happen, you're without power for a period of time, what are you going to do? What can you do? What do you have that will allow you to continue with as much modern convenience as possible? If you have solar panels, you could have one folding panel that's 100 to 200 watts that you would use to try to top off or keep a power station charged, and you could be using that to run a 12 volt compressor driven refrigerator freezer, like a 50 liter that has a refrigeration section, a frozen section. You can use it as completely as a freezer. You can use it completely as a refrigerator. You can use part of it for refrigeration, part of it for freezing. And when it's running, and they cycle. When they're running, you could be between 40 and 50 watts, 55 watts, depending on what you got the thing set for. And they cycle on and off. Little Lone Prepper, welcome. Isobar, welcome. I have a couple of, and I really need to do updated videos. I have a 37 liter Bouge RV compressor driven 12-volt combo refrigerator freezer. It's on wheels. It's got a pull-out handle so you can tote it around. I can run it on 110. I can run it on solar. I have power station that I run it with. I have a 50-liter. It's a little older. I'm going to get another Bouge. Might get one a little bit bigger than the 37. 37's fine. You know, you're using it to keep cold water, to have cold milk, sodas, perhaps eggs, bacon, cheese. Keep some fruit cold. Maybe ice. I really, you know, I keep the thing set on about 38 degrees, so I really don't need ice. You got cold water. You put a little packet of whatever you like in it. It's quite refreshing cold. You could have ice with it if you were using part of, you know, for freezer. You could have ice cream in it. I mean, it's a luxury item, and it's a convenience. You go camping for a week, you take it out, and you use it. Well, I said, next time we go camp, you gotta take 2 of them. One wasn't enough. Okay. Spicy tuna rolls, welcome. How are you doing, my friend? The idea is, I have more freeze-dried coming in tomorrow. I ordered some more. I'll do an unboxing, or I'll show you when it comes in. I write the date on it that I get it, the month and the year. It's good for 30 years. And I have started writing the price down, what I pay for it. That way you can see as the prices are going up. Because the prices are going up on everything. The more money you print, the less it's worth. That is the truth. The more you have in circulation, the less it's worth. So right now I'm at 1,571 subscribers. When I get to 1,600, there will be a 1,600 subscriber giveaway. If you want to have a chance at one of my Primo goodie boxes, it'll be an enhanced goodie box with a nice first aid kit in it, in addition to everything else I put in those goodie boxes. You need to leave me a like and a supportive comment on each of the 5 videos I've released just prior to hitting that 1,600. I don't anticipate there are going to be that many people that I'll be drawing from this time. I'm sitting at 10.3K views for the last 28 days. I'm at 425 watch hours. My last live stream from yesterday had 54 views. My short from early this morning, 413 views. I just released another short before I started this, which was my supper, popcorn shrimp. My last video, which was my little shout out video that I did, a little short shout out video to Hillbilly Josh's 43 views. If you haven't had a chance to go look at that one. It takes you about a minute and a half. I do plan on applying for monetization. I mean, I've qualified for the last several months, I just haven't done it. I'm not worried about, you know, I don't depend, this is not my income, this is my hobby. I do enjoy teaching, and I do enjoy sharing with people, and I do thank those who support me, and I do show my appreciation of those who support me consistently. My email address is in all of my videos that I release, the videos. I put my email address. If you'd like to contact me, email me. Email me your phone number if you want me to. I'll text you. We can talk or we can text. Ten in the house, 11 likes. Please leave a like to support the channel. It'd be greatly appreciated. By trade, I'm an educator. I retired 30 years in. I came back this year. Was retired for 5 years, and then I came back. I enjoyed it. I have a contract for this coming year. I'll be going back. I really enjoy having 2.5 months off for summer vacation. When I was working previously, I was an administrator, and my summer vacation would be 2 weeks. And during the summer, though, you'd work 4/10, so you'd basically work Monday through Thursday, and you'd be off on Fridays. So you have a 3-day weekend, which is nice. I'm way behind on my channel. I need to really put in some effort to support my friends. I'm behind on my content. And I'm getting older. I rest a lot. I get a lot of rest. So I keep thinking, well, I'm going to update this, I'm going to update that, and I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And I do eventually get around to it. Hillbilly Josh, welcome. So Josh, I got your box loaded up. And I finished the video and I got it edited. I'm gonna upload it. It'll be a premiere this coming Wednesday, 6:30 p.m. It's about 13 minutes long, and hopefully tomorrow I'll get over to the post office Midtown, get your box mailed out to you. I'll send you a text message letting you know when to expect it. I'll send you a tracking number in a text message to tell you when it says you should receive it. For where you're at, it'll be a couple of days. So you may, if I get it out tomorrow, you may actually get it the same day as the premiere, which will be Wednesday. And but I have been focusing my prepping on freeze-dried foods. I haven't been buying. I've got a bunch of MREs. I've got a bunch of humanitarian daily rations. I haven't been buying any of those recently. I have lots of number 10 cans of freeze-dried food. I've got lots of emergency packs, the 2-day packs, the 3-day packs, the specialty packs, the buckets. I've got lots of those. And I've got lots of canned goods, canned foods, a lot of the retort pouches, the Hormel Completes, the Dingy Moores, stuff that you can boil, you can microwave. You're not really likely in a grid down situation. You're not going to be wasting power microwaving because of the amount of power it takes. Most likely you put your retort pouch or your meal or whatever in water, heat the water, and let it be in there for like 10 minutes, and then it'll be hot and you can open it up and eat it. And that's what I would basically tell people, to do. Using emergency stove or a camping stove, using Sterno or Camp Heat. It's not expensive. You can use those inside. If you're using fuel tabs, you really don't want to be doing fuel tabs inside because they stink. In an emergency you can, but really that's something you do out on the patio. So I have been resting a lot. I rest a lot. When you get older, you rest a lot. I've been looking at shorts. I've been looking at videos. I have run some live streams for a few folks. And I try to support those who support me. I give support to those who support me. My friend Dave, who's now going by Yoda Papa Cards, I think he's going by. I keeps changing it around. Dave in Georgia, I sent him some. He said, I can't find the dark roast coffee. And Josh, I put some of that in your box. That I get off of Amazon. Walmart doesn't carry that. I mean, I could order it from Walmart, but I got Prime, so I order it from Amazon because I get free delivery. But you get those 7 little boxes, 7 sticks. It's a dark roast coffee, very good. Nescafe is very not very good, very tasty. And I sent a supply of that to Dave. We send each other stuff, and he sends me stuff, and I send him stuff, and I send him a supply of that. Yeah, I do a lot of it too. Like during the school year, I sleep. It's like, leave me the hell alone. I'm in my man cave. We have a 4-bedroom house, so, my wife and I have a bedroom, the master, and it's got a king-size bed. The daughter has a room. My wife has her sewing room. She does her crap and I have my man cave, which you're looking at. And I got a couch right there that I pillow and I just lay down and sleep. Leave me alone. Don't bother me. I think Melinda and I are similar age. You know, and you get to a certain age, you need your rest. During the work week, I come home. You know, it's like a long day, long day. I get home, I want to rest, and then I try to do my 1 hour live stream. You look at me. If I had hair, it would be completely white. Why do I say that? Well, blondes don't go gray, they go white. They don't go salt and pepper, they go white. So you see all this is white, all this white hair, it's blonde. That's when I was younger. If I've ever shown you pictures of me when I was young, really blonde hair. I think Melinda was a blonde because she's got that white hair, you know, and thinking she probably was a blonde. Good God, I'm looking at me. Look at that damn big belly. I do need to start exercising. Starting to look like Santa. God almighty. I can't believe the camera's taking that in. It's like, whoa, keep it right here. Keep it right here. Oh, Lord. You sleep on Sundays mostly? Yeah, that's good. Thank God for Friday and thank God for the weekends, right? Oh, man. Oh, you're prone to insomnia? Yeah, I used to suffer from that. I'm sorry you didn't get a notification, Mom. YouTube is not playing nice. And Willie Jilly. Hey, Willie Jilly. Hope everybody's doing well. Wow. Willie Jilly is at 699. I hope everybody is subscribed to Willie Jilly. If you are not subscribed to Willie Jilly, let me link her to you. I'm going to put a link down here. Somebody will subscribe Willie Jilly's channel. Willie Jilly will be at 700. And of course, we support those who support us. Please leave a like to support the channel. It will be greatly appreciated. So, it is hurricane season. This is a hurricane preparedness guide. Talks about what to do if you're under a hurricane warning. Find safe shelter right away. You think? I would tell everybody, as far as, you know, foods and such, if you don't eat oatmeal, you need to learn to eat oatmeal. It's very nutritious. It's very good for you. It promotes regularity. It's not expensive. It's not hard to prepare. You can put honey in it. You can put stevia in it. Black Widow says, I only use stevia. You can put stevia in it. Malta-meal, cream of wheat's another one. And you can get it freeze-dried. Lasts forever. And that can be one of your meals. I mean, in a grid-down situation, you may find yourself eating a couple of meals a day. One of them could be oatmeal and a couple of cups of coffee. Doesn't cost a lot. Doesn't cost a lot to have a supply of it. Too many carbs. I'll tell you what I tell my friend AK Fabe, who's up in Minnesota. And sometimes she lurks and sometimes she'll leave a comment, and just, she, you know, she's behind enemy lines up there. And she does not eat, she's not really a meat eater. I said, sister, if society falls apart and you show up at my house, you're going to eat what I give you. And that's going to be whatever, you know. If there's meat, there's meat. And if there's not, there's not. But, you know, you're going to eat what's given to you. Well, under those circumstances, yeah, under those circumstances, what you have available is what you eat. No disrespect. But in a grid out situation, you better bloody well not be trying to count carbs. You better basically make sure you try to eat a couple of times every day. Devil Dog Prepper, welcome, Devil Dog Prepper. I promise you, young lady, in a grid out situation, you're not going to be gaining weight. I don't anticipate you gaining weight. And so the idea being, and you know, people talk about, you know, what sort of preps do you have? Well, white rice, beans, you know, rice and beans, corn, oats, you know, you can have whatever you can afford to have stored. But in a grid down situation, you're not going to really be able to go to the store. You may be able to do some bartering depending on where you live. I wouldn't anticipate being able to do that in a big city. And if you're in a big city, God help you, because that will turn into a apocalypse situation in short order, because most of those people have got very little spare food to eat. And when they start getting hungry, they're going to start looking for food. And they're going to start looking to see who has food. I mean, today, in the big cities, they steal, they loot, they go through in packs, and they steal stuff with the stores open, with security in the stores. They still go through. They'll go through in bands, groups of them. What do you think will be happening in a grid down situation, or in a when the supplies are not coming through? They're going to be going from building to building and house to house with whatever weapons they have, guns, knives, bats, pitchforks, whatever they got. And if you've got something that they want, they're going to get it from you. You can give it to them, and they may let you live, or they may just kill you. And at some point, they may turn into cannibals. Got to think about that. You can make flour out of a lot of stuff. You grind it up. One of the things about oats, whole oats, you can make flour out of that. You can make corn tortillas. You can make corn. You can basically grind up corn, make that into a meal. You can make that into make a bread or a flat bread out of it. You know, you've got people who are right now living in areas that are not safe. Look at New York City. Take New York City as an example. Is it safe? And they probably have more cops than anywhere else in the, you know, the size of the police force. Is it safe? You can walk down what's considered a nice street and somebody hit you just because they feel like hitting you, or rob you because they feel like robbing you. Look at all the robberies and carjackings and stuff they're having in Washington D.C., which is the nation's capital. You've got kids stealing cars and killing people. You know, I mean, you've got congressmen being robbed and assaulted. The DC police, please. You do not want a woke, you do not want a law enforcement force that doesn't want to do its job. For one, because the prosecutors don't want to do their jobs. You know. Think about that. And then, you know, think about the people who are moving out. They're losing a lot of their tax base. But, you know, God help me. God help Texas. God help Florida. God help any of the red states. If you got people moving from the blue states and they're a bunch of woke liberals, they're just worried about their taxes and their safety, but they want to bring their nutty ideas with them. Don't come to Texas. Please do not bring your nutty ideas to Texas. The other thing is, you need to calculate based upon how many people are going to be with you. How many people do you have with you that you have to feed, water? How many people do you have to take care of? Your group or your family or whatever. And you've got to have, like, If you want to have a month's worth of food, which is not, that's to me that's like for just for a local emergency. You got to have that month's worth of food for each person. So if you got 4 people, then you've got to have 4 times what you'd feed one person. You want 6 months worth of food. There are 4 people. Got to figure out what 6 months is for one person is and multiply times 4. So if I'm looking at some freeze-dried powdered milk, and there are different brands. Let's just say I'm looking at Agassiz Farms because I buy a bunch of the Agassiz Farms. A number 10 can of the Agassiz Farms is 39 servings. A serving is 8 ounces mixed with water. It's a cup. So let's just say that that's a 1 month supply for one person. If you've got 4 people, you need 4 cans. So everybody has the same thing. And that way they can have 1 glass of milk a day for a month. You have 4 of those. And right now those cans are going for just under $20. So for 4 people, it's going to cost you $80 for 1 month using freeze-dried milk. Now there are other brands, and I buy other brands that have more in it. They cost more, but they have more. And I may do a video on that where I basically show, you know, this costs such and such, but it has so many servings, you know. And you have to calculate that when you're trying to figure out when you're prepping, and also you need to anticipate. Well, I need variety. I need different stuff. So you want to have a selection that you don't want to just keep feeding them the same thing over and over again. Now, when it comes to oatmeal, I can eat oatmeal every damn day of my life. And there are people that eat oatmeal for breakfast every day. That's it. Now they may put fruit in it and they may put honey in it, you know, and they, you know, they may have a little bit of variety in what the oatmeal is, but they eat that oatmeal. And the same thing with coffee. Every day I have a couple of cups of coffee for breakfast. At breakfast. Sometimes I don't eat breakfast. I just have a couple of cups of coffee. Take my medication. So, every day when you get up, thank God for the day. Say the Lord's Prayer. I'm a firm believer that life is good, but it is what it is. Be knowledgeable and cognizant of what's going on around you. Keep your eyes and ears open. Don't sit with your back to when you're out someplace. Don't sit with your back to the door. Know what's going on. The Scout motto is be prepared. I talk about preparedness. That's what they don't like to use the word prepping. They think there's a negative connotation, so we say preparedness. Being prepared. It's the Scout motto. I have a degree in history, and I love reading about the old days, how things were. And I'm really fascinated with our wars, how our wars were fought, what we did. Um, when when I was a lot younger, the Civil War was a lot more popular. So reenactment and all that. They still do it, but reenactment. And they made a couple of films called Gods and Generals, and they made one about the Battle of Gettysburg. And Gods and Generals is a really good movie. It really talks about how the South under General Lee, that he basically bled the North. He didn't have the numbers, he didn't have the arms, he didn't have the supplies, but he would pick the ground on which they'd fight. He'd always look for high ground. He'd always look for ways to, there'd be walls. He'd always look to entrench so that if they were going to attack them, they couldn't attack them with their full numbers, but also they were going to pay a price because they had some cover, and they'd bleed them, and then they'd pull out, and they'd hit them again, and they'd bleed them. And the South had the best generals earlier in the war until they got killed off, most of them. But they knew how to fight, and they knew how to fight against superior numbers. And I really enjoyed that. And if there's ever a grid down situation, that kind of knowledge, whether you were in the military or not, that kind of knowledge will be very important. And I could talk about, stuff like that. If the grid went down for an extended period of time, I would advise you to be nocturnal. If you want to go out and about, do it at night. Because if you do it during the daytime and you're out and about and it's fairly lawless, you could have somebody with a rifle with a sniper scope, with a scope on it, a hunting scope, and that could be 500, 600 yards away from you, and you'd never know it when the bullet hits you. But at nighttime, unless they've got special gear, and most people are not going to have special night gear, you're safer. They're going to have to be a lot closer to you if they want to try to shoot you or hit you. Also, don't be wearing white clothes at night. You wear dark clothes. Be cognizant of what's around you. Don't be walking out in the open. Walk along a wall. Don't, when you go around a corner, don't go tight around a corner when you're walking. Somebody could be laying for you right there on the other side of that corner. Be careful. Listen. Jocelyn, welcome, Jocelyn. Hello. Thank you for coming in, Jocelyn. My friend Jocelyn is over in the Philippines. Right now she's got 9.4K. Nice size channel. If you are not a friend, I encourage you to connect. Jocelyn is 13 hours ahead of us over in Texas. 13 hours. Other side of the world. Beautiful young lady. Beautiful family, daughter. She and Margie both have really good channels. I think they're both single, and they've got kids. Younger teenage kids. So I'm pretty sure both of them have been married before. Nice young ladies, and they very friendly, very youthful, put out good content. The same thing with Susanna Morrison. She's a single mom. She's got a 8-10-year-old little girl. I'm horrible with ages, judging ages of kids, but she's got a young daughter she's raising. Beautiful lady, beautiful daughter. One thing you have to think about is what's the shelf life. You get canned goods, certain things, what's the shelf life? You might anticipate it a couple of years. Might be a lot longer than that if you keep it in a controlled climate. I've got so much canned foods it's not funny. I mean, we got it, but we're not eating it. We really need to put it in a rotation. We eat out a lot. Really wasting money doing that, but we eat out a lot. And it's one of the reasons why my preps, I'm trying to make sure I get the long-term stuff, the stuff that'll last for 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 years. Because, like, you get canned goods and such, nothing wrong with it, but they do expire after a while. They won't be good for 30 years. And you got to think about that. The idea of bartering. Smaller places, they have those country stores, and they have farmers markets. People get together and they go bring their wares and they sell to people. They buy from each other. Some of them trade. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, we got so much soup it's not funny. Gotta make sure it passes the sniff and the taste test, and if your tongue starts feeling funny, don't go there. Spit it out. Don't eat it. If it starts making your tongue, ooh, no, don't go there. Don't do it. Doesn't smell good. Don't eat it. The other thing you gotta think about is, the fact that it passes the best by date doesn't mean anything. They have inspection dates for rations. I've ate 10-year-old MREs, 12-year-old MREs, nothing wrong with them. Nothing wrong with them. If it tastes funny, I don't eat it. That's the God's honest truth. 15 likes. Please, if you would like to support the channel, it would be greatly appreciated. It is important that you treat people the way you want to be treated. You have to be a friend to have friends. You need to respect others. Show that you have home training and a good upbringing. Be kind to people. Be kind to older people. One day you'll be old. If you're lucky enough to live, you'll be old. My mother used to say, why did I treat her so well when she was really old? I'm just paying you back. You took care of me when I was little, I'm taking care of you now. You know. A lot of people do not have good relationships with their parents. A lot of parents don't know how to be parents. They don't know how to treat their kids. They didn't have a good upbringing, and that basically just passing along what they don't know, you know. If you're lucky, when you're quite old, you'll go to sleep one day and you won't wake up. And the next thing you'll know, you're before the Lord on Judgment Day. And 1,000 years may have passed by, 10 seconds may have passed by. You'll have no concept of that passage of time. The next thing you know, you're with the Lord. The scriptures say the dead sleep. I'm not looking to offend anybody. You know, if we're reading a different Bible, if your Bible says something else, well, I usually read either a King James or a New International Version. I've got the St. Joseph Bible, which is the Catholic version in the United States. The dead sleep. And when Jesus went to raise Lazarus, and he'd been dead for 4 days, and he was decomposing and everything, because after 3 days you start, you know. Jesus said he's just asleep. Lazarus, come forth. He came forth completely the way he'd always been. Nothing's beyond the Lord. Remember that. So there are 10 in the house. I've had 18 channels come through and identify themselves. Oh, let me talk a little bit about yesterday's snapshot. So when I did the snapshot yesterday, I had 47 views. The chat rate was 3. Peak concurrents were 12. Average view duration was 14 minutes and 50 seconds. The total watch time was 11 hours and 37 minutes and 54 seconds. And the duration was 1 hour and 21 minutes. So that's not too bad. And since then, I was at 47. I've had 54 have visited my last live stream. 54. Yeah, sleep is good. Sleep is good. And I tell you what, if you have not viewed and listened to Black Widow's sleep videos, she'll put you to sleep. She has some good videos. You know, good videos. And I think she finally got her 4,000. So she's working on her monetization. You know, I could have applied at 3,000 and 500, but I didn't. You know. But just for the hell of it, I'm gonna go ahead and see what they do. At some point, maybe 6 months from now, I might get a check for $100. You know, it's like, oh, all the time I put in the last year, all the money I put in the last year. When you think about it, yeah, I may occasionally get a check for $100 or a little bit more. You never know. Depends on how the channel grows. My daughter and my wife used to be terrified of thunder and lightning and rain. They'd hide under me. They'd all be on my bed. They'd all be in the bed, you know, they'd be trying to hide underneath me. They're scared. And that was very endearing, very cute, very endearing. Hey, Joseph, you take care and God bless you, son. Appreciate you. Send me a picture next time you catch a big fish. Yeah, I pulled a bunch of stuff down, Black Widow. I basically pulled down a bunch of stuff that I had, like when I was remodeling my house. I figured I didn't need to show that, you know. I pulled down a bunch of stuff from way back in the day, like 4 years ago when I started. I'd been doing videos for 4 years, apparently. It's really only been the last year that my channel's really been growing. I was at less than 500 subscribers a year ago, Christmas. It's at 400 some odd subscribers. That's when I really decided I'm going to grow my channel. And I was picking up over 100 subscribers a month. And then it slowed. This January I was a little over 1,500, and right now I'm at like 1,571. So I'll have a premiere Wednesday at 6:30. It'll be Hillbilly Josh's Box. It's about 13 minutes long. I'll try to do some more posts on my community wall, some shout outs. And look at my shorts, please. Leave comments, leave likes. If you haven't had a chance to look at that 1.5-minute video I did of Hillbilly Josh, please look at that, leave a like and a comment. Remember, if you want to be in the drawing that's going to be coming up for the 1,600 subscribers, you need to leave a like and a supportive comment on each of the last 5 videos. When I hit that 1,600, I'll be figuring out who you are. The name's going to go in a hat. I'll pull a name out, and whoever name I draw, maybe somebody I've drawn before, you'll still get a box. Even if I sent you a goodie box in the past, you'll still get a box. I practiced the scout motto, be prepared. I was a scout for a couple of years when I was a kid. Life is good, but it is what it is. And I encourage you every day when you wake up, thank God for the day. You don't know how many days you have. Say the Lord's Prayer. And treat people the way you want to be treated. Tell people you love them. And everybody, please have a blessed day. And hopefully we'll see you tomorrow.